Hi everybody, it's Susan from Sunrise Quilt Studio, and today's block is called Black Diamond. It is a 16-inch block. It has lots of flying geese units and half square triangles, some rectangles and squares. So I hope you'll stay with me and I'll show you how to make the Black Diamond block. For A, you're going to need 4 3-inch squares. B is 4 3-inch squares. C is 12 2.5-inch squares. D is 24 2.5-inch squares. E is 12 2.5 by 4.5-inch rectangles. F is 4 2.5 by 4.5-inch rectangles. G is 4 3-inch squares, and H is 8 2.5-inch squares. Okay, we need to make 3 different sets of half square triangles, and the first set will be with the B and the G squares. So we're going to make 4 half square triangles with those. Here's the B and the G, and then the next set will be with the A and the G. And so here's on my A, we need to make 4 of those. So I'll take 2 of these A squares and we'll make those right away. So right sides together and sew 1/4 inch away from the drawn line that's drawn on the diagonal of the G square. And I'm just going to chain piece these together here. Okay, we'll cut those apart. Okay, so now I have 4 of the A and the G squares, or half square triangles. So all of these have to be trimmed down just a little bit. So I'm going to press them first and then trim them. So I'm laying these on my ironing surface right now, and then the last set we need to make are with the A and the B squares. So you need to draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of one of these sets. It doesn't matter which, just whichever you can see the best, and I think the A is going to be easier for me. Put those right sides together and sew 1/4 inch away from that drawn line on both sides. There we go. So now I have 4 of these. So I'm going to press and trim and we'll be ready for the next step. Okay, now we need to make the center of the block. So we're going to use all these half square triangles that we made, and we're going to use 4 H squares, and we're going to put this together like we would any other block. So I'm going to start with the first row and lay that out. So hopefully, I'm hoping you can see that. Let me scoot out a little bit more. Okay, then just follow the diagram. It's easier that way, I think. And then another H square. So this is row 1 right here, and row 2, that. And let's see. And check this over before you sew it together. Make sure you've got everything pointing the right direction, so so that you don't have it all sewn the wrong way. And let's see, this one needs to go this way. And actually this one needs to go this way. Okay. Yeah, that's right. And it'll probably become really apparent if you've got things wrong once you get this all done. So we've got this little pinwheel in the center. And we're trying to make star points with the rest of these. So that is another thing to look for. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is what we need right here. So we can see that. So this is basically a Lemoyne star is what we're making. So you want to make sure that you're seeing diamonds formed by all the half square triangles, and sew this into rows, sew all the rows together, and then you're done with the center of the block. And this is a good place to use a scant 1/4 inch if you can, because you've got lots of seams in this section. Now I have all of the rows sewn, and let me tip the camera so you can see those. So you can see those rows are all sewn together. All the pieces are sewn together in rows. Now I'm going to just sew the rows together. So I laid them out in the order they need to go to make sure everything looks right. And now I'm ready to sew. Now I have points all over the place that need to be matched. So I'm going to take my time and try and match those up, and we'll see how this works. And I did press all of my seams open after I sewed those units into rows. So I'm hoping that will help a little bit. And I'm going to start by matching my points here in the center. And this one just needs to match with the seam, so it's not point to point, it's just point to a seam. And the same with these others. But I'm going to pin those seams. And I sewed these rows together with a scant 1/4 inch, so that should help with the points as well. So I'm going to also sew the rows together with a scant 1/4 inch. now I have points to match here in the very center. This is where all of the half-square triangles are coming together. So got a point, lots of seams. Okay, so here is the Lemoyne star, which is the center of this block. So now we need to move on, and we're going to make some corner units. So for that we need F rectangles, we need C squares and H squares. So we're going to start by sewing a C square to an H square, and we need 4. So we're going to make 4 corners, so we need 4 of those. So I'm going to take 4 H squares, 4 C squares, and you should have 4 F rectangles. So I'm going to start by sewing the H squares and the C squares together. Now I'm going to press towards the darker color. Okay, so we have all of these 2 patches. Now we need to sew the F rectangle onto them. So I need to have 2 that are going to go like this, 2 sets. And then I need 2 that are going to go like this. So this H is going to be on the, or the C square is going to be on the opposite side. So these are going to be mirror imaged. Press these. So we have 2 like this and 2 like this. So you can see they're mirror imaging each other. So we have the corner units. Now we need to make flying geese units, and we have a lot of flying geese units. We're going to make 12. So we need the E rectangles and the D squares. So you can draw a diagonal line on the wrong side of your D squares. I'm going to follow tape on my machine. Okay, put this square on the right side of the rectangle, and I'm going to sew from the center top to the bottom right hand corner of that square. I'm going to make one of these and show you how that's done, and then I'm going to chain piece the rest together. Okay, I'm cutting off the outer corner with leaving a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and I'm going to press this back. So we have that, and now I'm going to repeat the same thing with another square on the left hand side, going from the center, and this time top center to bottom left hand corner. And use whatever method you like of making flying geese units. There's all different kinds of ways to do this. But this one you don't need any special tools. You don't have to calculate how to do 4 at a time. It's just, I think it's just easier. Okay, I'm going to press that back and then we'll have a flying geese unit. So we need 12 of these. Okay, I'm going to take the flying geese units and we're going to sew 2 of them together, and we're going to make 4 sets of 2. So you need to match your diagonal seam on that on those flying geese. So we're going to take for the flying geese and we're going to sew a C-square on both sides of it. We're going to make 4 sets of these. Okay, so I'm going to make 4 of these. And then we're going to sew it to this unit we just finished, and we're going to match up the colors. So it's going to make kind of a zigzag pattern. And what we want this to, and when you're sewing this together, you need to match the point of the flying geese to the seam that you're that comes in line with it. So do your best on that. Do the best you can. Don't freak out about it. It's not that critical, but that is kind of a landmark for you. Okay, let's sew this section. Okay, and I'm going to press this. Okay, so we're going to make 4 of these. Okay, so I have the block laid out here, and you can see all the units. We have the corner units here, and I turn those so that the rectangle is on the top on that row, on the bottom row. So you can see how that one is. It's hard to get all of these pieces in. And these units are side units. The 2 flying geese units go out. The one with just one goes in the center. So we've got row 1, and this is row 2, and then row 3 is just the mirror image of row 1. So let me turn that. I had that one turned wrong. So here we go. So look at your layout carefully so that you don't sew something upside down like I almost did. So this is what the block is supposed to look like. So I'm going to sew everything into rows, and then I'll sew the rows together, and then the block will be done. Well, here is the completed block. So that turned out really well. It was a little bit complicated, but take your time, follow the directions. The diagrams will help a whole lot. And I hope you'll enjoy making the black diamond block. Okay, that is it for the black diamond block. So this one was a bit of a challenge. You know, lots of pieces in this one, so it's one of the reasons I made it into a 16-inch block instead of an 8-inch block. Those would have been small pieces to put together. But anyway, this one, just follow the diagrams and the instructions, and I think you'll be able to do this one without too much difficulty. Anyway, I hope you'll give it a try. Now, if you like this video, please click the like button. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and click that notification bell so you'll be notified when the next video comes up. And in the meantime, I hope you're all staying safe and healthy, and I'll see you in the next video. Thanks for watching. For more quilting ideas, click on the video links, and to keep up with my latest projects, click on the subscribe button. I hope to see you again soon.